Greetings, dear friends. We are happy to welcome you one more time on Alatra TV Middle East. Today is an amazing day, and it means we continue our interviews on creative society. And we have with us today an amazing guest. So please welcome Alina. Introduce our guest. My co-host for today is Alina.
Yes, hi guys, greeting from Dubai, and both hosts of the show are in Dubai today. It's a very pleasant day here today, and I'm very happy to introduce our amazing guest today, Tahira Amir Sultan Khan. And Tahira is a wonderful lady. She is from Singapore. She is a founder of Golden Door. But Tahira has a unique life story full of unexpected turns of events. From entrepreneur, co-owner of a technological company with a headquarters in Singapore, to a storytelling Renaissance woman. And Tahira created a book for the Golden Door, the doorway to our advancement. And it's a very special book because she touched very important topics in these books. And I hope we will have an opportunity to talk today about the transformation of a human being, about the transformation of our society and our civilization to the next step of an evolution. So, Tahira, welcome and hope you are doing great.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for this invitation. It was a very quick discovery of, uh, of, of you and Alatra TV, and I'm so pleased to share whatever that I have and what I've discovered. And there's such a synergy in what you do, what you talk about, and what I will share. Yes,
Thank you
very
so
excited.
much. That's true. We were introduced to each other just recently, and we found already so many core values. And I would like to thank Dr. Hiba, the guest of our previous show, for continuing the connection through six handshakes. And I would like to remind to our viewers that through the project Creative Society, we are also testing the theory of six handshakes. And according to this social theory, all people on earth are connected through six or fewer social connections only. And this is how so many wonderful and amazing people joined the project Creative Society, and 180 countries all the world are implementing this project globally. And the goal of the project is to build a creative society. A creative society is a format of the society where everyone is happy, there every human life is valued, there we all live prosperously in respect to each other, in cherishing in human life. But in order to build such a society, we should unite with every person in the world, and we should ask each person how she or he envisions a creative society, because we cannot build a society there not all people are included. So today we will talk about creative society, but just before we start, I would like to ask our dear guest to share your story and what motivates you in life.
Okay. I like how you introduced me as a very unique individual with unexpected turns in my life, which is absolutely true. My life has been um, almost like a movie, I would say. It has been a lot of bold steps. My whole life has been taking uh, a step of courage into an unknown. And it has been a lonely journey at certain times, but as a result, it has become magical. It has become, great things have happened. At the same time, of course, difficult, challenging times. So I've always been in technology for 20 years. Um, I used to advise governments, including the Dubai government, Bahrain, Qatar, mainly Singapore government. So we were setting up the framework for e-governance. This is what my company was doing. And doing so much of that, really going all out to create a very advanced government. And over time, I realized, because I was receiving spiritually a lot of revelations, that I had to shift my focus to human advancement rather than the e-government advancement. So I had to literally shift my focus to that. I didn't understand why. And it was just something that was coming through with all sorts of revelations, supernatural encounters, and just downloads coming through. And I didn't really understand why. And I was shown this vision of an upside down kingdom. That this world right now is upside down. If you look at it very simplistically, but we need to turn it right side up. We need to put it in the right place. Of course, it's not completely wrong. A lot of things are doing really well, but I'm saying it's still a lot of work. So these interesting visions came to me, and I couldn't really understand why. Then it started seeing this piece together like a jigsaw puzzle. Then I saw this vision of golden souls, how we need to become towering golden souls, that we have only not even touched what we were meant to be. We've not even reached there. We're just in like the entry point of awakening. We haven't really discovered our true self, what humans were meant to be. So all this that I went through took me on a journey of being a storyteller, because there was a story that was unraveling. So I literally stopped my technology work. And when I announced, I was also the president of Mobile Innovation Society, and I announced that I was going to go into writing, people were quite shocked. It was such a big difference. And I'll be writing something which was sort of magical and mystical and futuristic. So I did that. And traveled, went to Bali, traveled around Asia. And then the book was created. And it had, this is the book here, Through the Golden Door. And it had the foundations of an advanced society and of advanced people. It wasn't written in a very factual way, but it was written in a story, so everybody will be able to embrace it. So I found that it was what I was, a storyteller, and very different from what I was before, an e-governance advisor. So, and that's how the magic started. And when I released the book, it became successful, and there was no turning back. So now the focus is human technology, the version upgrade of humanity, along with the planet. Planet Earth is already vibrating at 5D, but we are not. It's already there as a ready reality. We need to shift. So, yes, all the things we need to do, and how we need to prepare ourselves. We can get lost in this world, but we forget that we need to start transforming ourselves. And then with that, transforming the planet, the society, a new structure. And yes, so this is what I do now. So I say messenger of truth and love, because it is truth. And also love is what binds us all together. Love is what takes us forward and advances us. We were created out of love. We will advance based on love. So, and truth and love come together. It's not just truth. Something is not truth if there's no love in it. So there's a lot of misinformation out there, and then people have their own truths, version of a truth. But if love is not the foundation, then it's not truth. So yes, so moving forward from there, how this book came about and how everybody should read it. Those who are ready to awaken. Those who are not, maybe not so, but those who are ready to awaken and take on a journey. Because everybody needs to go on a journey. And you must have heard of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. Everybody needs to go on a hero's journey. And from there, I started doing training. And I'm hoping that it'll become a movie because it's some reviews were, it's a cross between Eat, Pray, Love and the sequel in some ways. But ultimately, but that's not the focus. The focus is for people to learn the principles, the foundations of an advanced society, an advanced human. And from there, Golden Door, the organization came about, which was just 2 years ago, for truth. That means raising up the truth writers. And that came about when I went very much into publishing industry. And I realized that the written word and the spoken word are two most important things, of course. The first thing when you wake up in the morning, you're going to read something or hear something. So that's both. And we want to tackle the written word. That's a huge part of it. And everybody's a writer now. Because of social media, the first thing you write on Facebook, so you're a writer. So the written word is so important. If we can work on that. So yes, this is my journey. Messenger of Truth and Love, and an advocate for the written word based on the foundation of truth and integrity, and growing that. Simply growing and creating a new population of truth writers, truth creators, just as you are a truth creator, because you're bringing something which is important, which is real, which is going to change society to better, and making it a manifested reality and not just something spoken about. You're making it real. And that's very important right now. We cannot be bystanders anymore. We cannot just sit and watch. We actually have to step in and act. Sometimes we look at the government needs to do something, the politicians need to do something. No, we need to do something. We need to, if it's a small step, it's combined, everyone, whichever area you are in. So, yes, that's the essence of it.
It's a beautiful words that we all were made because of love and out of love. It's beautiful words. And I think our viewers will be also interested to know, when can you describe that day and what brought you to that day when you decided to just quit everything that's not what I want and to follow your heart, to follow your vision that you want to do. And of course, we would like to hear more about the core values that you put in your book, like the main principles and what's behind that golden door.
Okay, that day was very frightening, I'll tell you, because it's a big step. But then, yes, because I literally was declining projects. And you don't want to do that, especially when the money is good for this kind of projects, it's big projects. But then you start declining projects. Because the heart is, I was not happy with what I was doing. And also, I more of a person who's a humanitarian, who wants to focus on something else, money was not the main focus. So there was imbalance, out of sync kind of feeling. So it was frightening, of course. But once you go past that fear, then everything else doesn't become frightening anymore. We need to conquer our worst fears. And the fear because of unknown, what am I going to earn now? When I started writing, I didn't think about how many books I'm going to sell. We don't know. We don't even know you're going to finish the book. And what book it was. I wasn't even sure what the title was. So I was just starting a journey. So it's a total fear of the unknown. And It varies with each person, but we need to walk it. This world right now is full of fear because of the pandemic, because of everything right now. And we need to go past our fear because otherwise we're stuck. Our evolution, our transformation is getting past that, because the opposite of fear is love. Casting out all fear, you reach perfect love. That's in the scriptures, right? Perfect love is cast out all fear. So we need to confront our the worst enemies. One of my biggest fears was public speaking. Actually, the biggest fear was public speaking. Absolutely. So I said, never would I would do that.
It's the second world common fear.
It was my worst. So yeah, you just need to conquer that. And it is, like I said, it's frightening. We have to go past the challenges, the obstacles, and just allow ourselves to grow. And after a while, we get refined and refined and refined. And then after a while, those things don't bother us anymore. Yes. And to keep going and to have that faith, because faith means that you don't know what's going to happen next. Yes, walking in faith means you really don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, I can't tell the future. Some things I can project maybe, but I can't tell the future. Yeah, but you have a sense. We have to use our senses. We are losing our senses. We're always using our logic. We need to use our heart and the senses that we have, the innate intuitive sense, and that just let ourselves walk based on that. And so being too logical. If I do this is going to happen. I'm going to lose this money. It doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't. Yeah, pros and cons are good, but to a certain limit. Yeah. So the foundation principles of which I cover. Well, one of the chapters is fearlessness, and also channeling our anger. We all have anger, okay? We all have it, but we have to channel it. That's when the anger becomes like you have a cause to fight for. I have a cause to fight for truth. I have a cause to fight for equality. So you channel that anger there instead of at each other, instead of racial. One of the things I shared with Aline is that we're too race-focused. We're too focused on the separateness, the differences. No, actually, we need to rise above and look at as human. We've seen what happened last year with the Black Lives Matter and all those, and many situations. All these things are triggers which make us want to, okay, let's attack each other. Let's attack each other. There's so many triggers in the world. We need to rise above all that and go back to human. I'm not going to say I am this particular race. Okay, we're all in it together because we need to focus on something bigger. And that's what the book says. Have an observer mindset. Observe the world and not react in the world. I'm observing. And when you start observing, you start putting yourself in the high dimension. And so reacting in 3D. So be an observer. Look at what I'm doing. What am I saying? What have I done yesterday? What did I do today? Observe. Right?
Be like a child, right?
Yeah, observe that. So in my programs, I run a training program every week called The New Human, which is linked to the book. And I tell my attendees to always do a check-in and observe. Where are they now? What do they see? What do they feel? So observation, and then conquering your greatest fear so that you can start growing. You can start growing and changing yourself. And not being afraid to be broken, because brokenness can lead to new form. A glass that's broken can reform into something more beautiful. a more beautiful design of the glass. We should not be afraid to be broken and form anew, the rebirth. Right?
Thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you, Tahira. Thank you. First of all, then you're talking about the core values and the foundations of the society you described in your book. Immediately to my mind came the model of a creative society. And it's so much important also that you don't speak only about the model of a society, but also about the characteristics of each human being in such a society, to channel anger, to be an observer, to be the better of yourself every day, not to be afraid to make mistakes. And thank you for sharing this with our viewers, because we always like to invite people to our show who are a model of these changes already here and now. And really what you do, and you empower people to those changes. It's also very much important, because the most common way of thinking is that, yes, I see, I understand, but I cannot do anything myself. So it's so good that people who already feel the importance of these changes unite. And we are so many in this world, in different countries. And just before we continue our conversation about this unity of people, about creative society, I wanted to invite our viewers to watch the video, the trailer of your project, which is called Golden Door. And this is a project you mentioned, an award for honest writers, content creators, bloggers, journalists. And what I liked in this trailer is that you showed that unity of people. People unite to bring a better life to all of us. People unite in order to create a better future. So please, let's watch this trailer together, and then we will continue.
I pledge to the writers of the world to cultivate a bond of integrity,
honoring myself, you, and others.
As writers of the world.
I will write and act in truth.
And courage so that I can do more.
In spreading knowledge.
And conducting act of greater good.
I will take a stand
for our rights, safety, and well-being.
Ensuring that we shift
away from distorted information
and fake news
that have skewed the world.
I respect the wisdom
that we all bring together
and act on it
in the real world,
so that we can create
better communities
based on kindness and respect.
I stand for choosing being good
and portraying the beauty of its goodness
through the power of the written word.
And finally, I join forces with millions of other writers as we allow truth to set us free.
Amazing. Thank you. Dear viewers, I invite you to share your opinion. What do you think about this initiative? Do you support it? How important is it today for all content creators? And as Tahira mentioned initially, every person today is a content creator, is to support these values which were named in this video. Can we create such a content which will empower us as a civilization? Please share your opinion and ask your questions. The most interesting questions we will ask during our show. And I would like to pass a floor to Serge.
Thank you, Alina, and thank you, Tahir. It's an amazing, really amazing video. And I really love how you urge people to get together. Stop being, separated. Stop this, consumerism approach that's only me, like my books, my writings, and this, race for something which is like in reality does not bring happiness neither to the author nor to the readers. Because once we start chasing this, some ephemeric things that will draw attention, we already start drifting away from our core purpose, like as a writer, we start chasing some things that will draw attention, emotions, and we totally forget the core principles of happiness and for what we started writing. That's what I think. And you were saying so many times about love, and in this video, the truth is the main important aspect. So I really wanted to ask you, what is the truth in the highest sense for you, and what is love in the highest sense for you?
Okay. What is truth in the highest sense for me, and what is love in the highest sense for me? I don't see them as separate. When you are in that state of love, when you are in God, God is love, and you're also in that state of love. When I say unconditional love, you can also say divine love. You will naturally be your true self, and you will speak truth, and you will conduct acts of truth. It's not separate, it's one. So,
amen.
Yes, yeah. You can't just be a truth advocate and then hurt others. You have to be in that state of love. Yes. And then you are writing, speaking truth. And sometimes we may deviate a bit, and we must remind ourselves, go back to the state of love. I mentioned that the foundation is love, and truth comes out of it. Truth is, I think, is the it's what is birthed out of it, out of being in a state of love. Yes, if that answers your question. And ultimately, the highest level for me is God. God guided me with the visions, with the dreams. I had no clue what was going on. I was just spirit-led. And I just had to walk based on that and just allow it to more to be revealed. And I have never imagined I'll be heading a writer's awards. I've only been a writer since officially a writer since 2016. So what I'm saying is that sometimes we cannot imagine what we can become. We need to allow it. So truth, sometimes it reveals to you something you never quite imagined. We need to allow that to happen and not restrict ourselves and put ourselves in that box. So opening those doors, we don't know what will reveal itself. Yes.
Once you go for that journey, once you leave that bag of fear with these concrete blocks away,
yeah.
And then you find much more than you've expected, right?
That's right. And I mentioned that fear is the opposite of love. So we need to leave behind fear.
Yeah, very good point.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tahira.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And let's move forward and come to the topic of today's show, which is Creative Society. And in the project Creative Society, people unite in order to build such a society. And today we are at the most important stage, at the first stage, which is an informational stage. In this society, in this stage, we inform each other, guys, it's time for us to start to live in a society that we will grow and develop. And if you want to live in such a society, start from yourself and start from informing people change this world. And only Creative Society is a format of the society there every human life is valued, because a human is the fundamental unit of the Creative Society, and humanity is one big family. Therefore, we would like to introduce to you the 8 foundations of the Creative Society. And these foundations are the pillars on which such a society will be built. They were created, they were formulated after thousands of interviews conducted by the participants of the project Creative Society globally. There we asked people what should be in our society in order you are comfortable. So after people gave answers statistically, we formed these 8 foundations. They are not new to us humans, but we know them. They are in our hearts. We know there should be, but for the moment, our society doesn't live as according to these foundations, but we can simply change it. Therefore, I would like to ask Tahira, can you please show your opinion? I know that you had a chance to read the 8 foundations of the Creative Society. How important are they from your point of view, and how quickly our society can change if we practically implement them into our life at all levels?
Okay, yes. One of them is, I've already mentioned, I think it's the transparency, which you have there. That is definitely crucial.
Yes, it's transparency and openness of information for all. It's the 4th foundations of the Creative Society. Maybe we will see it on the screen now, but please continue.
Okay. Transparency, openness, information for all. That, yes, I mentioned about that, how we need to have that openness, because otherwise there will always be something that hinders humans to get together, to unite, to work together. If there is some kind of deception, which we have in this world, we cannot really work together. You know, there has to be trust. Trust is the founding principle. So, yes, and self-governing. How do we achieve being able to be self-governing? A responsible freedom. Responsible freedom is there also, self-governing society. You want me to go in based on order? Because I'm not going based on order. Yeah, self-governing society. So right now, societies are built based on having a government, and they give orders. And various countries is different levels of that governance. Some are a little bit more control, and some there's much less control. So we need to go back to, again, us as humans. How responsibly free are we? How evolved are we? So we can make the right decisions. And we don't need something controlling us at the top to make those right decisions. So we need to go back to self. Go back to self. And working on the basic principles on deciding what's right and wrong, and taking the right action. Like, for example, in Singapore, most Singaporeans will not litter. I will never litter, because at one time there used to be fines for littering. All right, now they don't really have that. So as a given, I would not want to litter. as a given, I would not do some of the things which maybe in certain other countries, they would just throw things here and there and, not take care of public property. So we need to, again, go back to ourselves and work on evolution. So societies need to work on the human evolution. Back again, invest on that. And then you have a self-governing society and let go of laws. In fact, instead of increasing, having more laws, have less laws. So an evolving and advancing country will let go of laws. Not completely, but bit by bit, it'll be less and less and less. Depending again, they have to work on the human, invest on the human, keep investing on the human, and release less and less laws. So it happened with our founding father of Singapore. We had a lot of laws, Lee Kuan Yew. So then there was less. But still, it's still there. But I will speak in general now that no country is perfect, but we need to keep focusing on ourselves and enabling others also to be self-governing, imparting what we learn to others.
Thank you,
Right?
Tahira.
Yes,
Amazing point you mentioned, that we really, as a society, we need to become a society. We need to evolve. We need this evolution. We don't need revolutions.
Yeah.
Because today, in our consumerism society, we are stuck into a mesh of fear, emotions, consumerism. And if we just leave it for a moment, so I just really wanted to ask you, what advice from your experience, because you have experience of changing your life, like, 360 degrees, like complete change, like once you realize that this is not what I want. So I think right now a lot of people realize that this is not the life we want. This is some kind of survival. This is some kind of race and chase for something. So which advice can you give to people? Doesn't matter of their like social position. I really think that there are a lot of rich people by today's today's marks or today's like levels of estimating, but deep inside they are poor. And there is a lot of people as well who survive, who really don't have time not to think about iPhone or iPad, but they think about what to eat and what to drink. And what advice can you give to all people to stop for a second and what they can do, to come to this position of uniting together and do something for a change? What each person can do?
Well, different groups of people have their challenges, and those who can't even don't even have a shelter and money to buy food. Very difficult for them to even focus on evolving themselves. They have to focus on getting money to buy food, and that's a problem now. So for them, I would just advise is just conquer fear and find God to build under that strength, because they need to be strong physically to get through the day. Some, like I said, some don't even have food, and not even decent food to stay healthy in this pandemic. So they need to see God to get that strength. It has to be beyond themselves. And also the families should unite. Because if they're part of a family, the families need to come together and support each other and give whatever they can to each other. And instead of being selfish, there's not a time to be selfish. Because like I said, they may not have a job. So selflessness needs to come in. Going to God, prayer, meditation helps. Meditation helps, definitely. Last year, to help people, I just did as a contribution, I did about 6 months of meditation every day, publicly, online. For everybody. No charge. Because to get through the day without a job in a small apartment, they may be 5 people sharing one small place. Meditation helps. We're just getting through. And for those who can, who have the money, to start building and working on themselves, investing on themselves and investing on things, materialism, and really shifting what they would normally spend on. So, and also the other thing they tend to do is they tend to blame the government, blame this and blame that, to start just working on making the right decisions and involving themselves instead of blaming and looking at this is not being done right and that's not being done right. There's no end to it, actually. We need to strengthen ourselves, put on our armor. I would say that. Let's put on our armor. And armor not to fight, but armor to be strong in all ways. And those who have a lot of money, and as I say, for different people it's different. For those who have a lot of money, should give as much as possible without holding back. Fearlessly, they should give fearlessly.
Yes. And also, it's important to understand that it doesn't matter at which level of our society, in which country we are now, in to which religion we belong or don't belong to any religion, to which race we belong. It doesn't matter. It's a time nowadays to understand that we are all equal, we are all humans, and that our community should be considered bigger than my family, my city, my country. Our community is all the humanity. And I would like to ask you, Tahira, what can help all of us to unite? Because it's crucial now, isn't it?
Selflessness.
Selflessness.
Going beyond self. With the social media, we are so, what's the right word? There's a word for this, right? Focusing on the self with narcissistic. That's an extreme word. I don't like to use that word. But it's always looking good, making yourself look good in front of your life is great. The life is not that great now. It's not for many people. So now we need to accept that and start being a little bit more selfless. And yes, and just giving, that's it. I think we need to just give as much as possible and move away from our old life of accumulating. We don't need to accumulate. We just need to be comfortable. And extra, we can help people. We just need to be comfortable, the minimalist. Yeah. So life was different before, but now we need to get through this time. It's about getting through together. You may think that I'm not getting sick, I don't have COVID-19. Fine, I have all the luxuries, but we should not assume that. We're in it together. We have to think of ourselves as spirit, field, united as a tapestry. You're not separate and the other person is separate. We're in it together. There's a mindset shift, going beyond self. So some people would say, okay, focus on self-love, but that's another thing. Self-love, yes, because we want to love ourselves and appreciate ourselves, but not to a point that we disconnect ourselves from others. That is different. That is different.
And as you mentioned, a human is a spirit. And if we consider everything through our atma, through our soul, then we become creative and we get this internal desire to create and to share love, to share skills, to share help, to be really the part of community, and we don't stay closed in our shells. And this is a path, and so many people are on going through this path nowadays. They say we woke up and we see our world in a different way. And as you mentioned also, we are still in the conditions. There are people, they don't know that they are capable. They don't have a possibility time to look around because they are surviving. And this is why the Creative Society is a project for everyone. This is why there is a big responsibility over people who has a voice today, a platform to talk, an education to speak with people, to really start to share these values, the values of the Creative Society, so that this shift of mindset is happening as quickly as possible. And I would like to ask you as well, what is your vision of the Creative Society? Can you give, please, your description, how you envision it?
Creative Society, okay, returning to the human, every human is creative. Every human with the God spark within has a creative power. So some of us are given more resources, physical resources in the world. We may be more wealthy than the other. So a creative society should be raising up and supporting those who have less physical resources in the world, who are maybe don't have much privilege, and enabling them. So it's a supportive system. Everybody is creative, not just some. So it's everybody supporting each other, either a leader and a follower. We can be leaders and followers at the same time. For our creative projects, we are leaders, and we can be followers of another person's creative project. So instead of just thinking I'm the leader and that's it, no, we can be followers of other people's creative projects. So that's how we can really have a supportive structure. And the giving, being a giver and also being a receiver. So if I have a creative, something creative to release and to send to the world, I need receivers. I need people to use whatever I'm creating. So we need givers and we need receivers in the Creative Society. There needs to be movement of giving, movement of resources. There needs to be also listening. The Creative Society should be listening. Each individual in the Creative Society should be a good listener to the other. And so that we can hear the stories and the messages and the important things that you say, so that something can be birthed, something can be conceived, more creations can happen. When there's good listening within a Creative Society, we can have more creativity. So good bonding, trust, all this comes with trust and transparency and simply returning to becoming a human, which is paying attention to each other and going beyond self, the selflessness.
Thank you. Very interesting. Very interesting.
I wanted also to ask, unfortunately our time is running very fast, but I wanted to ask you what we can do nowadays to spread the word about Creative Society, what we can do to inform each person on this planet about the possibility that we can live a different life, that we all can, that this world is formed by us, people, and we are the agents of change in this world. So what we can do from your opinion, from your experience, in order to reach out to as many people as possible?
First of all, we need to remind them that they are creative beings. Many people have forgotten this. They're so used to being instructed with their jobs and the routine. We need to remind them you are a creative being and you are limitless. There's no limit to you. First is that realization. Then the next step is saying that let's create a tribe or community that's based on trust and let us support each other. So the fear will go away, or at least be less. People are fearful. So you create that, say that there is a supportive structure, they can start shedding their fear. And that will be the first two things that will start allowing them to take the steps of being a creative being. And then they realize, oh, I see, this creative society is so important because and naturally, I should be part of it because that's who I am. In fact, every human being should be, the societies of the world should be a creative society. That's the society of the world, is a creative society. So it's not just for certain people. And then for them to go through a journey of discovery of what their creativeness is. That self-discovery. To put some time out, to advise them that take a bit of time out. You may have lost your job. Maybe it is the time to find out your creativity. Something could come up that could be a way to earn, way to survive. And yes, I think it's just planting these seeds because people have forgotten and they're lost in this world of control and bills and survival and all that. And yes, realization is important.
Yeah, thank you very much. And as we mentioned before, the important pillar and the important foundation of the creative society is that it is a self-governing society. Self-governing society consists of almost 8 billion of mature and responsible people taking on responsibility of what is happening around us. And the government of such a society are those leaders who are caring about the society and who took over the responsibility to implement the 8 foundations and the pillars which will save and empower and cherish a human life. But in order us to be able to participate in the self-governing of such a society, the participants of the Project Creative Society are already now working on the platform, which is open for every human being in the world, for every person. There, first of all, already now you can join this project. Secondly, on this platform, the opinion, experience, and creating new forms of spreading the information about the creative society. And in the future, this platform can be used in order for us people, to discuss the implementations of 8 foundations and the issues which are happening in our society. So we can develop technologically, we can develop this platform enormously. And already today, it's very easy to join the Project Creative Society. Just now on the screen, you saw that you simply visit the page allatraunite.com. And there you choose a red button, join us, click it, leave your email, answer 1 or 3 questions, and the participants of the Project Creative Society will contact you. So please keep in mind, it's a volunteer project. It's created by people for people. There are no sponsors or funding behind this project, no politicians or affiliations with any organization. It's an open international platform. There you can find participants speaking in your language. And our common goal is to build a creative society for ourselves, for our children. And already now we are doing important steps which are creating our future. And I would like to thank you very much, Tahira, for today's conversation, for today's interview. And let's talk about who you would like maybe to nominate to be a guest of our interview for the future, because we are testing this theory of 6 handshakes, and always ask our guests to think about someone who you would like to nominate.
Me to nominate now?
No, maybe if you're ready now, just maybe you can think about it and just let us know later.
Yes, but I have a couple of people
We will announce in the future that the guest came for you, and we always invite all our guests to co-host in the next shows. So because everything is done by volunteers, all the broadcasts, all the shows.
Great.
But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Tahira. It was an amazing conversation, and I think our viewers enjoyed as much as we did. And to be honest, we don't want to stop. There is so many things that we want to ask, but because of the short time, but we could continue on and on. So probably one of the last questions for today that I would like to ask Tahira and all our viewers: would you like to live in the Creative Society?
Would I like to?
Would you like to live in the Creative Society?
Of course. A creative society is actually the heaven on earth, is the new earth. Because we're returning to the original human, which is the creative human, that is boundless, that is responsibly free. That is the destination. That is the aspiration for us to have that as soon as possible.
Thank you. Thank you, Tahira. We would like to invite you, and also we would like to invite all our viewers to participate or to join the next international conference, which is called Creative Society, What Prophets Dreamed of. And I would like to invite you to watch with us the trailer of the show, because we started the research on how the Creative Society was described in scripts, in philosophical books, in spiritual books, in everything which is the universal heritage of us people. They were all talking about how our society should be created, how it should be formed, what kind of relationship should be between people in such a society. And we are inviting everyone to join the research and to become a member of our volunteer research groups. There we are going to gather together all these facts and to talk about it openly with all the humanity on the 20th of March 2021. So everyone, please join us, join the research, share this information with your friends and colleagues, people you know, and let's build a creative society together by inspiring each other, by bringing forward facts, what kind of society it should be. So please watch this trailer, and thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. Serge, thank you. Tahira, thank you so much. And dear viewers, if you want to share this broadcast, don't forget to use 2 hashtags. The first, Creative Society, and the second, ALLATRA Unites. So, Tahira, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tahira.
Thank you.
Beautiful conversation.
Thank you. And let's watch the trailer.
Unprecedented event of present history. Initiative that comes from people around the world. Main project of humanity. People stopped being silent about urgent issues of our society. How it all started. May 2019, International Online Conference, Society, The Last Chance. 140 countries of the world, hundreds of thousands of people online, hundreds of broadcast platforms, translated into 7 languages simultaneously. If we all want to live in peace, why do we have a world of violence and destruction? It is up to us to build a different world. How can we do it? December 2020, Creative Society, United We Can. 180 countries of the world, millions of people online, thousands of streaming platforms, 35 languages simultaneously translated. People have voiced today's reality and what they truly desire. and it is the Creative Society. All cultures have an image of the ideal world people want to live in. A world that prophets talked about. The time has come when we can make it real. How will we use this chance? Let's meet March 20, 2021, 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Time. International online event of global scale. Creative Society, what the prophets dreamed of. This is the day the world will unite to find out the truth, join the entire humanity, and spread